I'm Alun Michael. I'm the Police and Crime Commissioner for South Wales, and I'd put the emphasis on the and crime bit of that, because it's partly working with the police, supporting the police, holding the police to account on behalf of the public, but it's also about trying to prevent bad things happening. Early prevention, prompt positive action is a bit of a slogan in South Wales Police, something that's shared by myself and the Chief Constable, but that is important, because why always be reacting to bad things that happen when we can stop bad things happening in the first place? And that's very much what we're about, and it's what this whole programme is about. It's very important to understand why things happen. It's very easy for us to think that we know what's going on. For instance, the things that are reported to the police don't always reflect the whole experience of the local community. Sometimes the result of injury through violence is seen more at A&E than it is at the police station, just to take one example. So we need to ask not what are the presenting problems, what are the things that have gone wrong, but why have they gone wrong? And we've known for decades that bad things early in life lead to bad things late in life, but we've not necessarily understood nor quantified that. So on the one hand, we know that if bad things happen early in life, people may end up becoming violent. What the figures show us from the Public Health Wales research is that it makes it more likely for you to be the victim of crime as well as a perpetrator of crime or violence. And understanding that enables you to do something about it. Now, that isn't just an issue for the police, or the police will always have to respond when bad things happen, but it's for police, it's for health service, it's for people in education, it's for people in local authorities, to understand why some of the demand that comes on each one of those services comes from the same roots. So if we're treating the same outcomes, which is bad symptoms and demand on each of our services, wouldn't it be better if we work together and try to prevent some of those things happening in the first place, or if they have happened, to ameliorate the impact of them, because you can deal with the outcomes of adverse childhood experiences if you do the right things, provide the support, and that can stop many more bad things happening. And that leads to a better society, it leads to fewer victims, it leads better lives for those who have experienced adverse childhood experiences, but it basically makes a better society for all of us. I think it mustn't be seen as just a project or a programme. The programme is about introducing the thinking and enabling people to understand how they can do their professional job better, because we're never going to do away with the different professions, the professions of police officer or teacher or social worker or probation officer, all those things that are so important in society. But if we can reduce some of the demand, it'll enable each of those professions to do what they do better, because they're not constantly running around just to catch up with the pressures of the daily job. So it's basically getting us all to realise that everything's connected to everything else, that if we together deal with the things that lead to things going wrong in society, we can all benefit from that, and that each of us can do our own professional work better as a result. So it's actually getting an understanding of that, but not just an intellectual understanding. It's actually about the relationships. I discovered in being involved in something called Working Together for Children and Their Families, I hate to say this, but it was in the 1970s, and it was about exactly these issues. I could never do my work as a youth worker the same again. I had to work more closely with social workers, probation officers, and with the schools and with the police. And it was transformational for those of us who were involved. So I see the experience of working together as being at the core of the way that we do this. So understanding each other's priorities, each other's pressures, but recognising that if we work together and if we build the relationships between different professional streams of work, we can be far more effective, each one of us, and getting that across at the level of policymakers, so they don't just draw up a sheet of blank paper when a new policy is asked for by ministers. They actually say, let's build on the experience and the knowledge and the understanding that we've brought together and which we've understood together. I'd point to the experience we had in Canada a few weeks ago, where in the World Conference of Law Enforcement and Public Health, we made a presentation, and what came across to me was that we were making that presentation from a practical point of view, the point of view of practitioners, of researchers who are looking what actually happens in our local communities and to the lives of ordinary people. And that showed that Wales is ahead of the world. Because we're thinking it through together. So what I would say is support something that is groundbreaking and is good for Wales and good for every community right across Wales, because we're in the forefront of getting it right. So support the initiative, trust the professionalism of people who are willing to trust each other as professionals and as researchers and as practitioners, because together we can get it right and create a better Wales, and a better Wales is a better Wales for every one of our young people and our adults as they grow up.